good sign.
What's happening? I don't have power. Can you hear me?
You know when you tell me to go steady, I'm not going to go steady.
Yeah. Come on. Get it, Kel. Get it.
Get in there, Lewis. Fantastic weekend all round. Really, really solid.
Great job, everyone. What a weekend.
Welcome to this week's SGSB Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Vince.
I'm Brayden.
All right. I'm gonna actually start this podcast with something slightly controversial.
Oh.
I'm straight out the gate.
Bold.
And it's nothing nothing that is truly F1 related, but I was listening back to the last week's podcast.
On brand.
It's on brand. It's definitely on brand. I was listening back to our podcast from the last week, and I noticed the excessive amount of belching that we do on this show.
Really?
Into the microphones.
Yeah.
Like we don't even try to hide it. It's brutal to listen to sometimes, because somebody will be making a very valid point, and then this burp will come out of nowhere. So as the person that has to do all the audio editing of this podcast, can we at least try to make an effort to not do that?
Dial it back a little bit. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, every once in a while, save it for a special occasion, but we really should probably back that one down a little bit.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that.
It's
amount of fizzies.
It is the worst ASMR ever.
Because I was sitting there in my car, and it's pretty loud.
I
was like, whoa.
Yeah. So in the future, let's we'll try to keep that one to a minimum.
Turn away from the mic. Maybe make it a little
maybe
less.
Try to do the COVID cough into your armpit or whatever it is. I don't know.
Dude, if I do
Something
this
like
and burp, I may make my arm fart. You know?
Yeah, that's gonna. If anything, it's gonna amplify.
That's a fucking 2-for-1. I don't know. Face away from the. We have directional mics.
Are you trying to suppress my artistic creativity, John?
I would hate to take away the one thing you do best. Anyways,
here, I'll do another hot take for you guys about this race. It was not that exciting.
It wasn't fucking wet.
It wasn't a hot take at all. Wait, did anybody over the course of the weekend see anything that even resembled rain ever?
At the very last second where they started talking about it, I saw something on Twitter. It was like, the race isn't that interesting when the cameramen start cutting to shots of the sky and talking about rain.
Yeah.
And it was in the last like 3 laps that it was maybe kind of starting to get a little dark on one half of the circuit. Apparently it started raining like 30 minutes after the podium session. But yeah, that was
and they made a valid point about the clouds. God, yeah, this race was that exciting. There's one camera angle they kept on showing which made it look so much darker, and then I think it was like Crofty, and they're like, oh, that's just the cameraman trick. Watch what happens when we actually just have a more level view of the clouds, and it looks like nothing. It looks like just puffy white clouds. Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
We're literally small talking about the weather.
Yeah,
we're talking about how the camera makes the weather look worse than it is. That's how fucking exciting this race was.
So I
have to say though, hats off to Red Bull.
It's not. I don't think it's a hot take when it's the absolute popular opinion. Now I do think that, again, a not so hot take is, I feel like this is what we're going to have to be used to for the rest of the season. We've went from total domination of Merc for the last 7 years, and I think now we're going to flip into total domination of this year by the Red Bull team.
It's all the car. God, this is boring.
Well, if they get their balls chopped off by Mercedes and the FIA collective in the process.
Well, I've seen a lot of a lot of different things on the internet. I've read a lot of articles recently, and I don't know.
I have something about that dominance, and it's just a question for you guys.
I love a question.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, again, hats off to Red Bull. They're kicking everyone's fucking ass left,
They
down,
killed
left,
it. Yeah, well, yeah.
north, south, east, west. But where did this come from?
I have the answer to that question.
The last 7 years.
No. No, because even after Portimao in Spain, the cars weren't that far apart. And even on the straightaways in Portimao, they blew away, right?
Yeah.
The Mercedes in terms of the top speed. In the corners, they were still worse, and they've always been worse. It's always been the Mercedes thing. Great in the straight line, terrible in the corners.
I wouldn't say terrible.
Well, you get what I'm saying in comparative terms. Jesus
Terrible
Christ.
is not the word I would use.
Okay, slightly deficient. Fucking pedantic over here.
Well, you can't win a race by 30 seconds a billion times, then be like, oh, they're terrible in the corners.
No, but I mean, they've always been weaker in the corners.
Comparatively to their massive straight line speed and the chassis dominance, chassis brilliance of Red Bull. Yes, they were a little less.
Red Bull is much more of a chassis team historically, and Red Bull was a very much a top speed team.
Where did it come from, John? Because, like, I tried to find articles and...
Okay. I can give you... I'm going to need a little bit of time. And if
John is Mr. Statty Boy today.
I am
John
stats
has had a
today.
lot of free time.
I am fucking hashtag journalism right now. I sat here at my computer at my desk.
Oh,
I know.
He's got a desk now.
Fucking news desk.
I made bullet points. I wasn't even drunk while I did this. I was stone sober. Like I just, and I went through and I said,
"Hear that, Sky? We're coming for you."
I know. Fuck you, Sean Kelly. Or what was it, Sean? The guy that does the stat.
Kelly.
Yeah, the stat.
We
man.
like virtual stat man.
Yeah, virtual stat man.
Kelly.
I'm coming for you. Yeah. Okay. I know stats, but I don't know your name. Okay. Apparently, every single race this season, Red Bull has brought upgrades to the track. And when they showed up to the Red Bull ring, they had literal van loads of new parts. Mercedes, all of their progress this year has come from tires and setup. They have not put a single new part on the car. Apparently.
They're not developing the car.
They are not developing the car. So that's reason. That's reason number one is you have one team that's just running what they made, and then you have Red Bull that's actively upgrading the car. Verstappen had a whole new floor section that, ironically, Perez did not have this weekend. So Perez was having trouble.
Usually, it goes. One driver gets one week, and then the second driver gets it the second week.
And they only had enough upgrades for Verstappen's car this weekend. But I think that says a lot because this weekend, Perez was trying to get past Bottas but could not. It was close at the end there, but
give him a lap, and he had to give him one more lap.
Yeah, but even still, he struggled for pace.
Right, he was not as dominant as Max was out in front, where he just kind of fucked off. The other thing is, so we know Red Bull put new engines in France.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Apparently in preseason testing, Red Bull had a vibration in their engine, and that caused Honda and Red Bull to run it at a lower power output than it was capable of. With the second iteration of engines that they introduced in France, they fixed that problem, and they gained an estimated 15 horsepower, and they can now run it at full capacity.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
So they're able to run smaller rear wings and less aerodynamics overall. They just gained more power with the new engines that they're putting in. They're actively upgrading the car and the floor and everything. So all these things combined, as well as Mercedes not upgrading the car, that's where you're seeing this massive jump from Red Bull. Now, as far as, it's happened recently, let me give you the speed trap. So I found a website that gives you, this is super boring, and if you're looking for like us bantering with each other, this is not the part of the podcast. We're going to get back to it
in a couple minutes.
Okay, so
John's real proud of his work.
I am so proud of this right now. In Austria this weekend, in the speed trap comparisons, they take speed numbers from the start finish line and then the end of the straightaway. So you get two numbers to compare to. In these numbers, Verstappen was 7th quickest overall in the speed trap of all the cars and 6th fastest over the start finish line.
That's really good.
Hamilton was 13th fastest at the end of the straightaway and 10th over the line in straight line speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll do it. No, I mean, I tried to find stuff on it, and I was just like, because it's just been such a dramatic shift. I mean, it's happened, I don't want to say overnight, but Jesus fuck. At the beginning of the season, I was like, okay, competitive. I think the Merc still has it. But geez, you watched the Red Bull, and I was just like, bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing, though. And this is what gets me. Portimao, which Hamilton won, Verstappen was 12th quickest at the end of the straightaway at Portimao and 10th quickest over the line. Hamilton was 10th quickest over the line and 3rd fastest over the end of the straightaway. So,
Hamilton really hasn't moved. Verstappen just got faster.
Hamilton, if anything, it's been like
worse.
Backwards. It's worse, but Verstappen's picked up the pace. So I don't know if that's a sign that other teams are still developing actively, including Red Bull. Red Bull is definitely still actively upgrading the car. And, I would imagine some of the other teams might still be pulling an upgrade here or there. But yeah, like I think what we're seeing right now is, Red Bull is selling out for this year. They are about getting Max the championship because I guess what you have to gain is Max stays in the car. You win a world championship. You maybe win a constructors championship. And then who knows what happens next year.
God, I hope they're not McLaren Honda 88 with all this shit that they're going out with and being fucking gung-ho, developing upgrade or bringing upgrades every week. I'm sure after these next couple weeks, if it's more of the same, Verstappen's winning by 10, 20, 30 seconds, that they'll slow development, if not stop it completely by like halfway through the season to save them some money, especially if Mercedes isn't developing their car at all over the rest of the year, like Toto Wolff has alluded to. He says whether or not, again, I believe that fucking Austrian fuck.
Yeah.
But Toto Wolff has come out and said that they have a significant power difference. They're not going to be bringing any more upgrades. They're solely focused on 2022 now. So Hamilton has said they need to find performance elsewhere. Whether or not that means that they put some money in, week in, week out, maybe skip a week of upgrades and they do upgrades again 2 weeks later or whatever, just to try and make it interesting. But I think fortunately and unfortunately, if Max does run away with it these next couple of races, we might be in for a less interesting and exciting second half of the season than the first half.
I agree. I think we're going to definitely miss out on a battle because one team is willing to still upgrade and build the car in this last Formula year, and the other one is not, and they're focusing on the future. I think that Max is going to run away with it. I don't think we're going to see the all-out battle that we were expecting.
I think after this race, I agree. I think more now that Max has a better chance of running away with it than us having a nail-biting finish coming down to the last race.
I mean,
and it's all because of the car.
I've seen so many comments. I'm sorry. I know I'm one to harp on Lewis Hamilton and his fans. But I have seen so many comments online recently of oh, Max isn't better than Hamilton, it's just the car. But it's also the same group of fans that before, when Hamilton's winning 7 world championships and he obviously has the best car in the grid, they go, no, he's just more talented.
Yeah.
And make up,
God, I love it.
Make up your mind.
I love hypocrisy. It fuels me.
I am one to, I will freely admit, after this weekend, I wasn't sure, or before this weekend, I wasn't sure where the cars sat and whatever. I am now 100% sure that the Red Bull has the better package overall. Between
Mercedes was nowhere this week.
No.
Absolutely nowhere.
Nope. And
it was the same. We can harker back to last year and the year before. It was the same. It's the same. It's literally the same thing, just switched. Max was cruising a little bit. He was keeping the 4, 5, 6, 8 second gap to Hamilton.
Yep.
Once Hamilton had run out of his tires or whatever, and Max decided to push, 1.5 seconds this lap, 1.5 seconds another lap.
Yeah.
He was 16 seconds ahead by the time they decided to pull Hamilton to go for the fastest lap with 1 lap left to go.
Yeah.
He was 16 seconds ahead of him, and he ended up 38 or whatever, I think, after the pit stop.
Not only that, but he even said, this is the most enjoyable this car has ever felt. It was easy to drive. It was a dream. Like, the car is so suited to him and his skill set that it's not even like it's hard to drive and he's extracting all the performance for it. It's just easy to drive for him. So
before everybody gets on our case, because we are 100% Red Bull fans.
We are biased.
We hate Mercedes.
Fuck. We are two of the three of us hate Mercedes and Lewis.
Everyone.
I'll let you figure out who that is.
We are saying exactly the same thing about Max as all the Lewis Hamilton fans can say about Lewis over the past 7 years.
Yeah.
It's the car felt really good for him. It's the easiest ever been. He was cruising. He was doing really well. Yeah, it sounds really hypocritical. I'm not necessarily happy about it. If Max runs away with this championship, we will be robbed of potentially the best Formula One season that we've ever seen. The first 6 races of the season, where it was Max and Hamilton gunning it out, finishing, within 3 seconds of each other, or you didn't know who was going to win day in and day out. That was what we were so pumped about. I will be upset if Red Bull starts to run away with it again and they win every race by 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah,
it's not going to be interesting.
I agree with you.
Just like it wasn't interesting for the last 7 years with Mercedes.
I want to see competition. That's the thing is, you don't watch a sport to go, I want to watch this team dominate other teams.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see a close game. You want to see competition. You want to see equal. Yeah, like, you want to see who comes out on top, who does the one thing differently, or who lucks out.
You want to see all Titans. In a perfect world, we see 20 of the best drivers go head-to-head, and we have no idea who's going to win.
Instead, we get to see 19 of the best drivers and Mazepin.
Yeah, yeah. Much like IndyCar, where they had 7 winners in the first 7 races.
Yeah.
We're lucky in F1 if we get 4 drivers where if something goes wrong, maybe we don't exactly know who's going to win. In this dominant era where everybody is free to develop the car as they can within their budget, there's not as many rules and regulations as far as development and stuff goes. Obviously, you're hampered by the amount of money that you can afford and everything, but that breeds the ground of, we've said it before, we line the drivers up from fastest to slowest, and then we're surprised when the fastest people beat out the slowest people.
And nobody really changes positions.
Yeah, nobody changes position. It's just down to driver skill with what they're, with the tools that they're given. So we like competition. That's why the first quarter of the season was fantastic, because you never knew who was going to win between Max or Lewis. If it continues, Red Bull have won 4 races in a row. Mercedes have lost 4 races in a row. They've never done that in the turbo hybrid era. If it's going to be more of the same, we're going to be disappointed we're going to lose out on a lot of competitive racing that this season could have been.
Yeah, I mean, we just went from one extreme to another. We watched Mercedes dominate, and now we're going to watch Red Bull dominate. And the other problem is the third best team on the grid, which you could argue is either McLaren or Ferrari.
It's McLaren.
I would say it's McLaren as well, personally. They got
lapped,
but they're not even close enough to challenge Mercedes. So
yeah,
we are looking at Formula 1, Formula 1.5, and then Formula 1.75. I don't know.
Yeah, let's
sure. Like it's still just as divided. We got lulled into this whole, it's going to be exciting and they're going to battle it out all season and who knows. But now, that being said, I'm going to throw this out here because we're being very doom and gloom.
Yeah, we are.
It only takes one crash.
Right.
And Lewis is winning the championship again.
And I think we were eventually going to get here. We were going to bring it back around and give you more of that SGSB typical thing. It only it takes one crash. It takes Max crashing out. It takes Max having a reliability issue. Knock on wood, the Honda power unit has been phenomenally reliable this year so far.
Yep.
It takes one reliability issue if they try and pump it up to 11 a little bit too much, where MGUK or something goes and he retires from the race. Maybe Checo holds it together and they still get those constructors points, but one DNF
and Hamilton's back in front,
and Hamilton's right back in it.
Yeah.
So
and crazier things have happened over the course.
There
of
is
the season.
there is one thing that I saw on Twitter over this past week, and to give you all non-Red Bull fans some hope here is it was
Fuck
just
up.
some
That's what I say.
Yeah, it was some bullshit like clip art like put together montage of like Seb Vettel and quotes and everything, and like really crudely put together, but it was hilarious. And it was like, just remember, I was leading the championship in the first half of the season twice.
Yeah.
Lewis came back and won both of those years.
No,
he makes you get comfortable, and he makes you, he makes you really think that you've got it in the bag, and then Mercedes comes back. That could entirely happen. We could get a thrilling year, flag to flag, lights to flag. We could have a lights to flag season, but
I do think we should talk, because there are other teams that participated in this race.
Yeah, there are. The other 8 teams, not Mercedes and Red Bull, were lapped at least once. So I know it's a short circuit, but everybody from P5 down was lapped at least once, including our baby boy Lando Norris. So
the biggest loser of this race, though.
Oh God, don't even get me started.
George Russell, my heart goes out to thee. Holy shit. If that boy didn't have bad luck, he didn't have any luck at all.
He wouldn't have any. Yeah.
It was heartbreaking to watch. And that radio call, come on in. It's going to be a long stop. We're trying to fix the car. Hydraulic issue. Realistically, I think George Russell could have finished 7th.
1000%. He was in 8th. He was battling in that train for 7th. You're right. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I think there was like 4 cars.
I think he realistically could have had it. He was holding his own.
He was there for a third of the race.
I mean, realistically, like, I know George has this tendency of putting it up there in qualifying and then going backwards throughout the course of the race. He was not. So that's the bad news for George Russell, and I feel so bad for him because he deserves to get those points for Williams. He outclassed his teammate for the billionth time. He's a solid driver, and I'm going to set the internet straight right now. I've been seeing a lot of anti-George Russell posts where people are saying he's overrated.
Wow, really?
I've seen so many of
all
these
over the internet, dude. They're like, I don't know what this people think that George Russell's the second coming. He hasn't scored a point this year. He's never scored, like, finished Williams in the points.
I saw some mealy-mouthed fucking moron the other day saying that he thinks that Lando Norris is 100% without question better than George Russell because he gets more points than him, or some stupid. I mean, it was just so moronic. I read it.
Some person who doesn't watch F1
and
week
somebody
in and week out.
Some hero of the internet commented exactly what I was thinking, and they're like, "Why don't you go back and watch Formula 2 when George won the season?"
When he wiped the floor with everybody behind him, and Lando only came third that year, I think.
Yeah, he was like, "Why don't you go back to F2 and reacquaint yourself, because Russell was dominant." And the guy recomments, he goes, "F2 doesn't matter. Formula 1 is different." And I was like, "You're an idiot." So whoever you are, I don't even know your fucking name, but you're an idiot.
You can go straight to hell, sir.
I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter.
Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
Yeah. So fuck that guy. No, George Russell is a talent, and if you don't believe it, you're just delusional. That kid is talented as fuck. He's one of the best drivers on the grid right now, regardless of the car that he's in. And
going back to what you said about Mr. Saturday, I mean, he's probably the closest he's ever been. He was 8/1000ths off of getting that car into Q3. That's how much raw pace that he had this weekend in qualifying, in the race. And the worst thing is, he said he made a couple of changes to the setup of the car. That's what he thought attributed to a lot of the pace that he was having. With the reliability concern that they had, he has come out and he says he doesn't think that he's going to be able to do that next week, because they've had to dial some of those changes back just to keep the car more reliable and save the company some fucking money and not blow an engine or a gearbox or whatever.
But I think if you're Williams, you have to look at, because if you get a constructor's point,
that's the difference between not having to pay for all your travel costs for the year.
Right. But you also, I mean, like, that pretty much guarantees, as much as I hate to say this, that pretty much guarantees them beating Haas in the Constructors' Championship.
Right.
Because realistically, Haas isn't going to get any points this year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you and I.
Yeah, right.
So, in that case, it's like you get a bonus for coming 9th in the Constructors. So you're going to get money from that. I would say, like, fuck it, keep it dialed, and hopefully the hydraulics hold together and you can get a point. What do they have to lose? If they win, they don't have to pay for the travel costs. Great. Or not even win. If they get a point. If they come 10th. Dial it back a little bit. He was going to get 7th. I mean, I feel so bad for George. He's living in the low stakes ass world that is the bottom of the grid, when he absolutely should be a top tier driver.
Yeah.
Oh hi,
Vince.
Yeah, hey Vince.
Are you still here?
Did you want to say something here? You've been quiet for a little bit. I know we've been talking about your favorite subjects.
Your Space Jam background. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're completely right about Red Bull. I mean, it's not the car.
Bitch, that was weeks ago. We're done talking about Red Bull.
Yeah.
I know.
We're on the rest of the
Jesus,
grid
you
now.
boys are fucking having a little date here. I feel like the
we're
third
jerking
wheel
each
on the
other
bicycle.
off, but sometimes we got to do that, So
Vince is just upset because he can't burp into the microphone anymore.
Yeah, right.
Well, I did actually burp into my armpit a while ago, so
I've seen Braden save at least 3. You guys are killing it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, but I was hanging out with my friend who watches F1, and we had this discussion of drivers and driver ability. So, Joan, you've segued perfectly into my thing.
Oh, wow.
That was
unintentional.
And just kind of because, all right, the rest of the race, yada yada, fucking boring.
I mean, there's some things to talk about.
I mean, really, like what?
I was gonna support your latest opinion that if Danny Rick doesn't get his shit together, he's gonna be definitely out of that team.
Well, and this is what we're coming to is, I talked to him and I was like, hey man, like, think of a ranking system.
You talked to Danny Rick? Wow.
No.
I didn't know he had those.
Tell me why you're so shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because all of my social media accounts. But I was talking to him and I was like, rate the drivers based on skills, not cars. Fuck the cars. Everyone gets a Mercedes or everyone gets the Red Bull of this year or the Dallas Mercedes of last year, right? So let's rank on pure skill. And I mean, you guys can see I've been.
Oh, he's got a paper. It's like a green screen paper. It's magic paper.
Yeah, it's yellow, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's blends real nice.
But there's like I've been constantly changing this just because I am. But I think
I'm very
overall,
curious. I'm very curious right now.
What are Vince's top 10 power
drivers.
rankings?
That's what it is. It's power rankings. The SGSB power rankings, as according to Vince.
But I got
First
all
of its
20
kind,
drivers on
fourth
here.
year.
Wow.
We went through all 20, and I even took into account F2, which kind of explains a couple.
Hell.
I'm gonna sit back and watch me be amazed.
So, okay, it's a coin toss who you want to put first, but Hamilton's won more championships, more years than Verstappen.
But it's the car. It's the car.
It's the car, but that's why coin flip, right?
Okay.
Verstappen, Hamilton, however you want to put it, right?
Okay.
I always put Leclerc third because he has shown that he is able to take a jalopy of a Ferrari. In F2, he was great. In the Alpha, he was great. And when the car was good, a la cheating, he fucked some shit up and he forced Vettel out of that team, basically, outperforming him like no other.
Okay.
Okay.
Fourth, I would put Vettel. On sheer talent, I think Vettel is one of the better drivers on the
Noted
grid.
Sebastian Vettel fan Vince. on
I
the
did
podcast.
not see that one coming.
Either. You got me more invested now. Keep
Oh,
going.
yeah.
I'm
No,
listening.
it's
I'm
better.
in. I'm fucking aware right now. I was tuning you
So-
out, but now I'm listening.
No, fuck you. Again, on sheer talent, and I kind of put in this year, but of the past, put Ricciardo fourth. Or fifth. Sorry, he's fifth.
Yeah.
Okay, halfway down the grid, I can think of at least, or no, not even halfway, a quarter of the way. Wow.
Yeah.
In a good car, though, you have to think back to when he had that Red Bull, and when it wasn't even that dominant, he was the only person to beat Vettel and Verstappen.
No, I agree. Danny Rick of old, we it's easy to forget right now because he's putting in such lackluster performance, especially
But again,
compared to
you
Lando
segue
Norris.
perfectly because I've built this list now.
yeah.
At the end of next year, or at the end of this year, his name is dropping. But
Okay.
I'm kind of going off of the beginning of this year a little bit. You get what I'm saying? I tried to not take this year's results into effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because
No,
it's a little
I
biased. You
understand.
can throw a lot of. You could throw like Perez is one you could throw up higher, but yes, he's good, but
I
he
think
finally has a good car.
I think Perez is very consistent.
Yeah.
But again, consistent. But where is the results when you really need them? And at the early time of his career, he fucked up at McLaren Mercedes
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
massively. Raikkonen is 6. I still believe if you put Raikkonen in a really good car, he proves again and again you'll see him on the podium. So
Yeah. I mean,
the more reliable of the Finnish drivers, Perez is 7th behind him because I think Perez has been consistent ever since joining Force India.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it nowadays.
Yeah.
Shithole Daddy Stroll Racing,
What is it? The Woking team or the Silverstone team?
the woke team.
the woke team. All right, and so here's where I'm going to get very controversial down the road here.
Nikita Mazepin.
Yes. No, Bottas. But this is where I wrote this a couple days ago or yesterday.
I don't disagree with that.
Look, the list changes, but I'm
Bottas 9th out of 20.
I would say it was Russell out of 8th because we wrote Bottas yesterday, but I was like,
Wait.
eh.
Where's George
What?
Russell on this list?
I want to put him in front of Russell, but this is what was written down yesterday.
All right.
Again,
All right.
Russell has proven it. Bottas is again a Perez, very consistently shit. Russell Norris, Sainz, Alonso.
Ooh.
Oh, I dumped Alonso far down the grid. I don't think he's as good anymore. Without the formula of those cars of the past, he's not good anymore.
Damn.
He is a dated driver. I don't think he can adapt a car as well as others.
Okay.
Yes, everyone can hate me for it, but yeah, he wheeled the Ferrari around. Again, kind of a more mechanical car. But ever since we've had the turbo hybrids, and yeah, I know he's been in a shit car, he's lackluster. You know, he's Fernando 2-time champion Alonso. He should be doing better no matter what shit car, right? There's the argument is, yeah, you're in a shit car, but you should be outperforming that vehicle. And he never really showed me that. But Raikkonen is ahead of him because of what he was doing at Lotus as well back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking wheeling a car that is a fucking Gomer pile. Bottas can fall wherever. I don't know. We just kind of ranked him high up. Gasly is after Alonso.
You know, honestly, I think I put Gasly higher than Alonso.
Gasly has shown us flashes. At least Alonso has more credit to his name.
There's a lot of stuff from like 7 to 14 that I feel can swap with each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really close. I mean, at the end of the day, you're looking at some of the best drivers in the world.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and it's pretty hard to distinguish after a while. You know, there's like 3 tiers of drivers that I kind of figured out. And then Stroll is behind Gasly, then Ocon, and then Schumacher.
Yeah.
Then Giovinazzi.
Yeah.
Then Latifi, Tsunoda, Mazepin.
Yeah, I think that's relatively fair. I think that bottom 5
the mid-pack is so hard to argue.
Yeah.
It's relatively...
There's a lot that's unproven in the current formula. There's a lot that has shown signs of brilliance, but who knows if that's
a flash in the pan or a fucking work of art to be made.
Exactly.
And that's why I think Alonso is, for the latter part, him and Hamilton and Raikkonen, you know, Vettel too, they're all on the downslope of their careers. No matter what you want to say, their downslope is still better than the peak of a lot of these guys' career.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think
that's relative terms, right? You know, you got to think in that sense. I mean, if we did peak drivers at peak times, this list would change in a heartbeat.
It's really hard, and like you're trying to take cars out of it, but it's so hard when like
but you got to think without the car. So you're thinking on pure skill, right? Thinking about wet driving. That's why.
Oh. I got to throw this out here. I've seen multiple people on the internet say, oh, well, Verstappen's winning in the dry. Let's see what he does in a wet race. Everybody forget about Brazil.
Brazil 2016?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or
if it's wet, it's still Verstappen's race.
Verstappen's still killer in the rain. I don't know where these people come from. But
it's rain will... Here's the thing is, unfortunately, Facebook is under this model where any fucking idiot can have one and any fucking idiot can comment on something that they join in a group of. I am in a group. I'm in one Formula One group, and then there's different, you know, F1 pages that I follow. There's Formula One news and memes. That's the only group that I'm a part of, and then I follow the F1 Facebook page. I have lost track of the amount of times that I have gone on to that page. I've seen somebody with some name that I can't pronounce that doesn't have a location profile, that they say some bullshit, you know, argument that they've seen somebody else make on the internet, and then everybody who has actually watched the race or knows something about F1, they comment the complete polar opposite of what the actual thing that they're trying to prove is, and that person, the original commenter, comes back and says, "Oh, okay, I didn't watch the race. Sorry, I didn't know." People just sprout shit on the internet because they thought that they saw something somewhere, or they came up with some conclusion on their own on seemingly no basis. And then people who actually watch the shit are like, actually, mate, that's not what happened. This is what happened, and you're wrong. And sometimes they die on the hill that they fucking built, and they're like, no, blah, 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 blah. There are other times that I've seen where they go, oh, I never watched the race. I didn't know what happened. Sorry. It's like, what the fuck are you doing commenting on a public forum, saying something? How can you live with yourself saying something so ignorantly wrong because you didn't even watch the race and know otherwise? Like, I don't understand.
I just tried to do this top like power ranking from 1st to 20th without the cars.
Yeah.
It's
hard as fuck.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
there's multiple crossouts. Like, guys, this is hard.
I just got to 8th and I was like, fuck, I forgot about Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
And I definitely think Carlos Sainz deserves to be in the top 8 drivers. I think he deserves to be pretty far up there. I think Carlos Sainz is a good driver, but like,
right. But again,
I will say
Lando's a good driver. George is a good driver.
I'm solid on my top 5. I've got my top 5. I also have my
What are your
bottom
top 5?
So I got Verstappen ahead of Hamilton.
Uh-huh.
At the beginning of this season?
No, overall.
I think Max is surprise. It'll come out. Say what you want to say. I think Max is a better driver than
This is the only reason why I will say this is Verstappen. Okay, so when he first came into the sport, he was crashy. He wasn't.
Yes.
He's now matured into the driver that he's going to be. Hamilton also, when he first entered the sport, was very crashy.
He was crashy.
Okay. But I think it's a difference in mindset right now. Now it's, again, power rankings right now. We're not talking peak to peak. We're not talking, I think Verstappen is coming into his peak while Hamilton is, I mean, the dude's won
coming off of it.
7 world championships. Obviously, he's good at driving a car. I'm not taking any of that away from Hamilton. I think he's an exceptional driver. I've said that before on this podcast. But if you're going peak to peak right now, Verstappen's at the height of his power while Hamilton is on the downslope of his career.
Right, and this is why I tried to make it from the beginning of the season, not right now.
Right.
At the beginning of the season, would you feel the same way? I don't think so.
I think at the beginning of the season, I would say it's a toss up, like you said. But I wanted to have a defining 1-2. I think they're both extremely talented. Without my Red Bull hat on,
let's hear the other 3.
Based on age and physical ability, Verstappen is 10 years younger than Hamilton.
That's
11
true.
years younger than Hamilton.
Yeah. Again,
that's it. Hamilton's weak.
He's old. He's weak. He's crippled.
Do you even
you heard it
John,
first?
John, before you get your panties in a while, John has a point though. Verstappen is just coming into the best years of his career.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Hamilton has won everything at the peak of his career. He is now coming down off.
Trying to take away what you've seen this year, though.
I still think at the end of last year, Verstappen
Verstappen
on raw
won in
physical talent. Verstappen is the better driver.
He won in Abu Dhabi. Last year. I think raw talent. Max. Everybody watches Max and goes, he's special. He's a special driver. The same way we watched Hamilton when Hamilton came into the sport. We said, I mean, he almost won the championship his rookie season.
The same way I think George and Lando will become really special drivers if they're given equal competitive cars.
Continue on.
Battling against Fernando Alonso. So, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Hamilton. I think he's exceptional. I just don't. In this power ranking, I knew this was going to be a point of content.
Yeah.
Verstappen first, Hamilton second.
Okay.
In third, raw talent on the grid, car not counting George Russell.
Yep.
Fourth, Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc fifth.
Okay.
And then this is where everything falls apart and there's a lot of scribble marks and I'm like, oh, do I put Vettel next? Do I put Ricciardo next? Do I put Perez next or Sainz? This is where it gets tight. Now, my bottom 5, I'm very, very confident in. Which I would put Mazepin, Latifi, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Schumacher. Bottom 5.
Yeah.
You and I switched Latifi and Tsunoda.
I don't have any complaints with that. I don't think anybody will.
Now, after Schumacher, it's Stroll, which I think would be pretty accurate, Alonso, and then Bottas.
Reasonable.
And then I put Ocon 12th, but I'm not so sure about that.
I don't think Ocon's better than Stroll.
That's why I dropped
Really?
Ocon
You don't think
down.
so? I think Ocon's. I think Ocon's better than Stroll, but I don't know if Ocon's better than. See, is Ocon better than Bottas? Do we think that?
No.
No, you take.
See, that's
if you were building your Formula One team and you look at the grid and you have that choice, I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd pick Ocon.
If I had the choice of Ocon or Bottas,
I think I'd pick Ocon. I think I would.
Bottas is old. You just talked about how Hamilton's on the downslope.
I mean, that's one thing to take into account is age, but do you take experience over age? Do you take somebody that's driven a top tier team or driven in a top tier team?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if you drive for a top tier team or Williams because you put a Williams driver as number 3.
A fair point, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
so see, you know how hard it is to do this without thinking of cars, though.
Well,
so that's the fun exercise. It's very fun. Everyone's is going to be different.
You know what this is? This is the Top Gear star in a reasonably priced car. You know, when they put him in the whatever that car was it the Lassetti first or the
Suzuki Liana?
The Liana, and like when they did that, they put Lewis Hamilton in there, and Daniel Ricciardo was faster in the same car on the same track
in the Liana.
And so it's and that's all, you know, conjecture and ridiculousness, but it's also a point. It's the only time we ever got to see Formula One drivers drive the same car.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Rubens Barrichello in there. Rubens was really fast.
There was Vettel. There was Hamilton. There was Ricciardo. There was Kimi. There was, I think Mark Webber did it as well.
Mark Webber was in there, yeah.
Damon Hill, Coulthard.
David Coulthard was in there, yeah. I like Coulthard.
Well, that's it. You heard it first. SGSB Hamilton retires all of a sudden. Snapshot Ricciardo to Mercedes. Bam.
Coulthard makes a return, a triumphant
to
return Red Bull.
Do we have anything else to say about this race? It was
you like fucking assholes gave your power rankings, so.
Oh, here we go.
All right, have you written yours down?
Mine's the same as yours, John, for the top 5, except for I will put. Who'd you put 5th?
I put Leclerc 5th.
I'll put Vettel 5th.
Okay, that's fair.
But I
have Vettel 6th, so
I do think it's Max, Lewis, George, Lando, Vettel. In terms of raw talent and age and everything right now, I think that's a good place to put it. And your bottom 5 is damn near spot on. Mazepin should never have driven an F1 car. No. I don't know why he's there other than fucking money right now.
That's it.
Latifi is also fucking useless. He spent 18 years in Formula 2 and just happened to have 1 year where nobody else was driving, and that's the reason why he won, and he's in F2 or F1 now. Tsunoda is very crashy. He's a hothead. He's shown one flash of brilliance, so he's at least got some sort of skill over Latifi. The fact that he went up one racing fucking whatever the word is that I'm looking for.
Yeah, but Gasly's been putting him away.
Yeah, exactly. And then Giovinazzi, Italian Jesus, if he's not going to have nothing special, I don't know why Callum Ilott or Robert Schwartzman is not in that car instead of him. And then fucking who was your last one?
Schumacher.
Oh, Mick Schumacher. Yeah, he's got potential, but he's not going to break the top 15. He still has a lot more to prove. He's
shown it in qualifying here and there that he can be.
He's better than the 4 that he's definitely better than the 4 that are behind him. But I don't think I can put him in front of anybody else on the grid.
I think I take into account the fact that Mick Schumacher in any series he's raced in before has had a slow start.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I took into account. That's why I put him above all those guys was give him a year. Let's see what he does in his second and third year. And we're going to have a new formula. So
it's going to be a new formula. Haas has not even thought about touching this car, and they're throwing all their eggs in the basket for next year. So
and
hopefully they can come out and be Haas of 2018, where they were fucking scoring points, getting 5th and 6th left and right.
Hopefully they're better than Haas of 2018.
That's true,
I'd love to see it.
At least Haas of 2018, back on those, kind of scoring really good points every now and then, and at least fighting for the final points positions consistently.
Yeah, no, it's a fun exercise though.
Can we go? Yeah. Do you guys want to go over predictions?
Yeah, let's go over it.
Oh no, I want to go over one tinfoily moment I had actually earlier today.
Hit us with it.
So driver shakeup, after I finalized the things yesterday, I had this just stuck in my mind all day today. So I talked with the guy, and I was like, oh, you know what would happen, right? Mercedes doesn't want to be a works team, or doesn't want to be a works team anymore.
Yeah.
So they turn into the engine
AMG
supply.
or whatever.
Ineos.
Yeah.
Ineos, Petronas, AMG.
Yeah. So basically, Mercedes goes away, right? So it's Ineos, it's whoever. Bottas is gone. You bring up Russell. Or Bottas will leave.
Yeah.
Maybe this team doesn't really want to have Russell since it won't be the Mercedes works team. Danny Rick sucks fucking nuts right now. And McLaren, oh, come on, guys. He sucks at the moment.
I wasn't arguing with you.
I know, but I see Braden's fucking eyebrows.
I give him a face.
Yeah.
Looks like Scorsese trying to find the Coke bag. But, so McLaren ditches Ricciardo at the end of this season because Zach Brown isn't going to put up with that bullshit. Because Ricciardo, mind you, is getting paid like a top 5 driver.
Yeah, he's getting paid a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
And yet, the same fucking excuse with him is, oh, it's a new car. Well, hey, guess what's happening next year? Another new car. Oh, so are we going to have the same, oh, I can't drive it because it's a new car? Then stop signing 2-year deals, you fucking pussy. You fucking had Verstappen battled you the last year you were at Red Bull. Red Bull was, bolstering up their golden boy, and you cracked under the pressure and left. He can never be a number 1 driver, in my opinion. Go see a sports therapist. But whoever buys the Mercedes team takes on Ricciardo because he still has some talent left, right? And you can trick someone. All right. I don't know who they fill with the second seat, but now McLaren has an open seat. Guess who goes to McLaren?
George.
Exactly. So then you have a British team with 2 young British drivers with the Mercedes engine still. That would be fun as fucking shit.
That's actually
just crazy enough to work.
That's actually a very, very, very intriguing prospect. I'd never actually thought about, because we all talk about how Danny Rick's not doing great and he's on a 2-year deal. But if they do decide to part ways at the end of this season and they throw George Russell in that car.
George Russell and Lando Norris in a, who knows what they're going to be next year.
Yeah, that's the thing is every team next year is a question mark. We could have
the great
right. But let's just say it. They're the 3rd place team, and you put 2 young, really talented drivers.
Team Britain is what that is.
Yeah.
Team
McLaren with 2 British drivers.
Ever. Yeah.
And now has 2 young British drivers. Yeah, fucking, I'll be drenched in papaya orange for the rest of my life.
Well, until they make the car all black with that little papaya.
I'll be drenched in my own jizz if that happens.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But then, Raikkonen, I would say Raikkonen leaves Alpha. You bring in Schwartzman.
There's no way Raikkonen is in F1 after in the formula change.
Do you think so?
No.
I think he's done after this year.
No, I don't.
So then Raikkonen leaves.
I don't.
Schwartzman or Eilock comes in. You use Gio as a measuring stick. You know you're going to get rid of Giovinazzi, but you use him as a measuring stick because you have to make sure that the rookies can defeat at least him.
The lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to make sure that they're actually worth the hype, right? If they all of a sudden get in the formula and they can't beat, Giovinazzi.
Young Ferrari prodigy driver for the 5th year in a row, Antonio Giovinazzi.
Right, but
he's
again,
never going to get a Ferrari seat.
He'll never drive a Ferrari.
No, he's never going to drive, but you use him as that measuring stick, right? And then, whatever after the 2 seasons from now, whatever. But you use him as a measuring stick against your rookie, right? And then Williams fills it in with someone else and whatnot. And then who else did I say was going to move? I'm looking at all the names.
Out of the sport.
No, Ricciardo would be either out of the sport or on the Ineos team. Because I think Mercedes is going to back out sooner than you think, but that team will suck. Whatever version of Mercedes team and whatnot in the next formula, history's proven they're going to fall down.
Yeah.
2012 Mercedes.
No, that's true. Absolutely.
They're going to fall down. And so, you can still bring in marketing with Danny Rick and, let him complain about the car and be a loser. Perfect situation for him. But get him out of a car that is probably going to be more competitive.
Now,
and a team that has the most trend upward is McLaren at this moment.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I would like to point out that Danny Rick is having a better first season in the McLaren than his first season in the Renault.
Yeah. Well, the Renault was also a way shittier car.
That's also very true.
Okay.
Also, yes.
But that's why that debate of the car. Well, the car's better, and yet he's still semi-performing the same way.
Now, but Carlos Sainz did say that car is very weird to drive.
Again, you're Danny Rick. You're getting paid the amount of money you are, and you've always touted yourself as this guy, and I think he's trying to break away from being the funny guy. The happy-go-lucky. You don't see him smiling a lot anymore.
Well, that's because he's doing shit in the car.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think if he was doing better, he'd be a lot happier.
But I think he tried to rebrand his image, and his whole psyche's off. I think his whole psyche has been off since he left Red Bull. But now it's finally showing. Right? He had that, I don't want to call it a villain, but he had that villain in a Beatable to, mouth off to someone and look like the cooler, suave guy. Well, now Norris is cooler and more suave.
I wouldn't even call Norris suave. I'd say Norris is just a good fucking driver, I think is what Lando is.
Norris also is starting to build that charisma, right? And now it's Red Bull all over again. Danny Rick is finally all bark, no bite, and that's what's being proven.
He's losing out to a younger driver is what he's losing out to.
Yeah. He's finally on the wrong end of the stick.
So let's swiftly move on to predictions.
All right.
Okay. So coming into this week, I was leading the championship at 21 points. Braden and Vince, you guys were tied at 14. Who do you want to start with? I'll leave it dealer's choice.
Braden. I want to hear Braden's pick.
Start with me.
Okay, Braden this week. Braden, you had
the sacrificial lamb.
You had a Verstappen win.
Nice.
Hamilton second.
Yup.
Perez third.
So close.
Bottas fourth.
So close.
And Stroll fifth.
I'm banking on it being wet for that one.
Yeah, no kidding. I looked at that and I was like, why the fuck did you do that? So you had 2 points in the top 5.
You would think that when it was Monday that we checked the weather forecast, that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 100% chance of rain.
And it said it was like 75% chance of rain all day.
Yeah. Not a fucking lick.
Nope, nothing. Anyways, bottom 5, Mazepin 20th.
Yeah, no.
No. Schumacher 19th. Again,
yeah, no.
No. Ocon 18th.
No.
No. Latifi 17th.
Bingo.
And
nice.
Russell 16th.
No.
So you had overall 3 points on the week. Your Alonso was 10th.
So close.
He's so close.
If only Tsunoda wasn't so fucking useless and could get by him.
Yep. So you ended up with 3 points on the day, and you are now sitting at 17 points overall.
Yeah.
Decent job. Vince, you had a Hamilton win. Verstappen second. Leclerc third. Norris fourth.
No.
And Bottas fifth.
Whoa.
So you blanked.
That's a goose egg for the top
5. Bottom 5, you had Gio 20th. Stroll 19th.
Fucking bastard.
Mazepin 18th. So there's a
Bingo.
point. Tsunoda 17th.
Nope.
And Schumacher 16th. So the
Okay.
Haas boys
Us boys got you some points.
ironically got you points.
Yeah.
So you ended up with
First time.
2 points on the week, and you are sitting at 16th, and Braden has overtaken you in the championship. You are now officially in last place.
Last.
Don't call it a comeback.
It's a comeback. It's all over.
It's all
It's
over.
all over.
Now for me, I had a Verstappen win,
Nice.
Perez second,
Oh.
Hamilton third,
Oh.
Ooh.
Norris fourth,
Oh.
and Bottas fifth.
Oh.
All the right ingredients, but in the wrong order.
Yeah.
So I got 1 point in the top 5. Bottom 5, I had Mazepin 20th, Schumacher 19th, Latifi 18th, Tsunoda 17th, and Gio 16th.
Oh.
Nicely done.
So bottom 5, I had nothing. So I got 1 point on the week. But wait,
There's more.
there's more. I accurately
wow.
guessed that Fernando Alonso would come 9th.
The Alonso ace, ladies and gentlemen.
The
Saved
Alonso
John Ass
ace,
again.
which gives me 2 points, and I end
And
up
the bonus of correctly guessing.
snatching victory from defeat. I end up with 3 points on the week. And because of this fact, Vince now has to drink a zesty beverage, even though, oh, he's already doing it.
He's hopped right in.
Wow, he just wants to get this shit done.
He wasn't even sticking around for the fanfare. Just down the hatch.
He could not wait to drink that zesty beverage from. Oh, there you go. You got one.
That's the one.
You get one.
Smirnoff, if you're listening, he just could not wait to get his lips around the bottle of that zesty
he's been-
Smirnoff Ice of yours.
He's been eyeing it the entire podcast, just going, I can't wait to drink this thing.
Oh, my mouth was watering the whole time. That's why I couldn't wait for you to finish.
Smirnoff
Oh.
USA, please sponsor us.
Ah,
So I will
Horseshit.
I will freely admit that this was absolute bullshit. I was dead to rights. I should have had to drink a Smirnoff. I even thought, and thoughts, the thought is what counts. I thought about going and grabbing a Smirnoff and offering to drink
I
it
don't
on
want
the
your
podcast.
sympathy.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
And-
I don't want your sympathy.
Well, I didn't do it, so I don't.
Two-toed fucking whore.
I still don't
Fuck
have.
you.
I don't have a Smirnoff here because I know I'm not gonna lose. So,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
some confidence.
oh yeah. Well, when you're the best and you know
That
it.
needs to be shaken, rattled, and rolled right the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fucking bread them up and slap them dry.
Yep. So I still have not yet drinking a Smirnoff this season. I got 3
You're
points.
missing out, John.
I
You
know.
are.
Oh wow.
You say they're zesty beverages, but yet you never drink them.
Well,
Huh.
I will say that last year I pretty much drank one every week.
Yeah, that was a good year.
Some would call that pulling
yeah,
it.
well, I mean, Brandon,
pulling a Vince.
sometimes the old dogs have to retire and let these,
The
You're
young,
right.
gift him the Rosberg championship. So
Gotta
he
let the
comes
young
back
bucks
and
come up.
the young
Yeah.
bucks. So now sitting after this, I am in the lead with 24 points. Braden, you have 17. Vince, you have 16. There's still a chance for you. I have a few talking points that I would like to just briefly go over.
Oh yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
What talking points do you have? How much Red Bull cum you have to clean out of your teeth?
Nope. I will say that Toto Wolff said that the answers to Bottas's contract, the answer is his performance on track. That's the answer to the rumors.
Yeah, right. We've
Okay.
known this.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same story. It's the same bullshit
Basically-
that Total Wolf keeps spitting to the media.
Yeah, if Bottas does well on track, then he has a seat. That's what he's trying to say, but we all know that that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not very exciting. The other thing that we didn't touch on yet, Turkey is back on the calendar.
It is.
It was there and then it was gone and now it's back. So good on you, Turkey, for figuring out COVID.
It was that Simpsons meme of Mo throwing Barney out of the
the bar.
out of the bar, and then he shows up right behind him, and after he brushes his hands off and everything, yeah, Turkey is back. Good for Turkey. Turkey's was a good race last year, so hopefully it can produce another good one this year.
I like that track. I like that whole thing.
I think that means since it's back, that the chance for an Austin doubleheader
is probably off the
goes
table.
down and is probably off the table.
Yeah, that is a very true statement. I had a good laugh at this one. Grosjean tweeted out after Bottas' spin in the pit lane, "Welcome to the club."
Nice. Hell yeah. God, I love former F1 drivers throwing shade at current F1 drivers.
That's such a bad look because the last person to spin in the pit lane was Romain Grosjean in the Haas, and now Bottas can join that illustrious company.
Yes, he can.
This one is the one that I found most interesting in the newsy things that I found while being a journalist.
Oh,
on the internet.
Hold up.
Hold
on. That on that same wavelength. Sorry, I was digging in my phone to find this meme. Is
fucking stole my thunder.
Jimmy Broadbent posted on Instagram is on that spin of Valtteri. It's just a quote of him like entering the McLaren pit area, and he's like, "Guys, please save me from Mercedes," and it's just them pushing him off, saying, "Fuck off, Valtteri." Fuck out of here.
That's pretty funny.
But sorry, go ahead, continue.
So this one is the most journalistic thing that I've found so far, and this is breaking news. This is hours ago, literal hours before I started recording with you guys. There is an engine meeting this week at the Red Bull Ring. Where they discuss the ideas for the new engine formulas in Formula One.
Interesting.
Guess who's there?
Nobody.
Porsche and Volkswagen are both at the Red Bull Ring this week to discuss future Formula One engine regulations in, I think, 2026.
Yeah. So for the last 10 years or whatever, they'll act like they're interested. They'll show up, and then at the last minute, they'll be like, "Nah, it's not for us." And then we'll stick with the same bullshit that we've been dealing with, which is just Renault, Mercedes, Honda.
Are you ready for my tinfoil?
Go ahead. Crinkle that shit.
Honda's out. Red Bull is making the
Red
engines
Bull
in-house.
Yeah.
They have all the blueprints and everything for the engine. They have all the technical data.
Mm-hmm.
Really, they only need somebody to put a name on it.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the Red Bull Racing Audi Formula One team. At the Red Bull Ring, they're discussing these things, and Porsche and Audi, who are owned by Volkswagen, show up. And
doesn't that kind of look bad though? That like you take all of Honda's engine stuff, and it's the inside, the outside, it's all Honda, and then Volkswagen or Audi or Porsche or whatever just slaps their name on it.
Red Bull marketed the Renault engines as a Tag Heuer at one point.
It was still a Renault power unit.
But they said it was powered by Tag Heuer. I mean, they like.
I guess.
Okay, for you, Vince, and I, and people that are serious about Formula One, and we watch it, and we're all in tune, and we have our fingers on the pulse of it. Yeah, I for us, it's like, okay, yeah, that's a Honda. That's not really. But lest we forget, the Mercedes engine, and Braun. When Braun came in, that was Honda, and then that turned into Mercedes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
always the Tag Heuer engine for Red Bull, remember?
Yeah, I just brought that up while you were texting.
To the point
thank you for joining the podcast, Vince.
You're welcome.
But no, for the average layman, they look at the car, they turn on a Saturday or a Sunday, and they watch Formula One, and they go, "Oh wow, it's Audi Red Bull or Porsche Red Bull."
Yeah, I get what you're saying there.
It's a name on the car. Yeah, they can go, "Oh yeah, we're involved."
See, but I don't think anyone's gonna want to attach to Red Bull. Not because it's not a good idea.
They get a lot of screen time.
Yes, but imagine if we had an Audi Works team. And oh wait, it seems like a lot of facilities, like I talked about earlier, may be up for sale randomly here soon, you know?
Well,
Mercedes doesn't want to build the engine. If it was Porsche Ineos, all right, or Audi Ineos, I think that's where it would go.
I mean, I think of it like this way. If you have...
You're thinking of branding the wrong way, I think, for the engines. You couldn't call a Honda a Porsche. You can't call a Subaru a Ferrari.
But the thing is that people aren't going to, if they take over the technical documents and then they start working with Red Bull, that is now a Porsche. They're going to do a design on it. They're going to do something. It doesn't matter because people are only going to tune in and go, "Hey, look, it says Porsche on that car."
But would Red Bull want them to tinker with this engine?
I don't know if they'd want them to tinker with it or if they'd want more money.
See what I'm saying though? But more money. But if they're paying for the badging of the engine, they're gonna fuck with the engine a little bit.
But okay, so here's the other side of it. The reason why, because in previous years, Volkswagen and Porsche have both shown up to Formula One and go, "Oh, but it's too expensive due to the engine development."
Volkswagen can't do it. They're going all electric.
But that's why Porsche and Audi are there, and Volkswagen isn't. But they're owned by Volkswagen, which is one of the largest car manufacturers in the world. They have the money for it. What I'm saying is, if you come in and you take over those designs and you now make it your engine, it's much easier to go off and make your own factory team because you now have half of the problem figured out, at least until 2026. You have 4 years of, we can race in Formula One now. We now have an engine. We have a design we could work on.
But you just buy the Mercedes team.
So your tinfoil, if I get this right, your tinfoil is, since Porsche and Audi are going to be at this engine thing this week, that you think that they will join on one team, whether it's Red Bull or whether it's Ineos, Porsche, or whatever, latch on to the engine that's already built. That way they can establish their name already in there, kind of dip their toes into it, and then become their own team in 2026 or develop their own engine in 2026.
I think if I had to break down my entire tinfoil line of thought here, I think it's Red Bull now has an engine that they're taking over. They're building facilities. They've never built engines before. They can pair with a team that's been successful in maybe World Endurance Championship, that has a racing pedigree, that knows how to build engines. That team comes in. They now have access to build an engine. They now have the data to make an engine. They come in. They build a Formula One car on their own team, whether or not they buy somebody else out, a la AMG Petronas. And then now Porsche has an engine that is now a Porsche engine or an Audi engine, and then they can already have the aerodynamics for the team or whatever. And then they can put those things together and now have a car. It's easier to get into the sport instead of going, okay, we're going to start from scratch. We're going to build all the aerodynamics and then build a turbo V6 hybrid.
You're right on that. You're right on that part.
Right. I'm arguing that they just buy the team like Mercedes bought Ross Brawn GP.
But I think AMG is still going to be involved with Formula One. I think the Mercedes part is bailing out, and that's why it says AMG all over it, and there's very minimal Mercedes branding on it. I think it's going to be. Agree. I think it's going to be Ineos AMG.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Powered by Mercedes or whatever, not a Mercedes
Formula One
works team.
Yeah. I'm just saying that it's...
No. I had to talk it out. You know, I'm old as shit.
No, I'm just saying I think it's interesting that both of them would show up, especially since nothing has really changed.
Yeah.
and it's at Red Bull's home track and their home race.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know
you
if
can
I'm
look into
maybe
that,
reading
too.
into that too far, but it's at least worth.
Well, I mean, you
bringing
may
up.
sound like Italian sports media here soon.
Well, to break the news, you got to break some eggs first, right?
Right. So we do have what we've kind of alluded to in the past 10 minutes is we do have another race at the Red Bull
Do
Ring.
we?
It is the Austrian GP. It is
Oh,
the third
wow.
of this triple header. And this is a point I've been meaning to say for about 20 minutes. The reason why I think Kimi Räikkönen is out at the end of this year is because Callum Ilott is doing FP1 again for Alfa Romeo at the Austrian GP.
Do you get rid of Kimi,
Guangzhou?
or do you get? Is it Guan Yu Zhou?
Guan Yu Zhou is
Guangzhou is
doing it
for
for
Alpine.
Alpine. Yes, he is also doing FP1, but Callum Ilott is doing
Yeah,
FP1 for Alpha.
yeah. Guan Yu Zhou's an Alpine young driver, or a
Yeah.
Renault,
I was just
yeah.
saying there's another guy doing it.
Yeah,
Guangzhou.
Guan Yu Zhou is also doing an FP1. He's doing that for Alpine, and he's going to take over in 2 years when Fernando Alonso is done with his multi-year deal because he's a washed-up old bag and he's pushing 106.
I don't think I'm gonna put it this way. What makes you say that he's gonna be replacing Kimi Räikkönen instead of replacing Antonio Giovinazzi?
Because Kimi Räikkönen's like 40 years old.
Yes, but age aside, if I were the one running that team, I'd rather get rid of Gio than Räikkönen.
Yes, but again, it comes down to about this.
Gio's out driving Räikkönen at this point.
Well, okay, this is my point about the Gio instead of you kick out Räikkönen rather than Gio. Is
Yeah.
because Räikkönen, a rookie driver against Räikkönen, is going to look way worse than Gio versus a rookie driver. And if that rookie driver is good, he should be able to beat Gio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Alpha would have an easier way to go, well, he's not versing the, world champion Kimi Räikkönen. Oh, he lost to fucking Callum Ilott, a rookie. Out you go.
Also, Gio and Kimi Räikkönen are both tied in the drivers championship with 1 point each.
Okay, well.
But you
Gio-
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care about the drivers championship. It's easier to make a case against Gio with your new driver than it is against Kimi, because Kimi will outdrive any fucking rookie in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, more than likely.
Räikkönen-
He has too much experience, and I think it can also be kind of a mind game against these guys. So I no. I think
Just going off of this past race, I mean, Räikkönen has been out in Q1 more times than not this year. He was out in Q1 this past race, and Giovinazzi has made it into Q2 more times than Räikkönen this year. So,
Yeah, but is
as much
that Kimi
as
apathy?
Giovinazzi sucks, as much as we don't like him, as much as we think Italian Jesus doesn't belong in that car and it should be two other drivers, he is doing better than Räikkönen. So it's his third year in the car. Of course, he should be doing better than Räikkönen. I think I even heard Crofty and Brundle, start saying something like, "Oh, Giovinazzi's in his third year. He's starting to do better," and yada yada yada. He's just wasting time. He's a seat warm for another Ferrari driver, academy driver.
No, that's all it is, really.
So
all right.
that's why I think Räikkönen is out at the end of this year. A rookie, whether it's probably Ilott, will partner Giovinazzi next year, and depending on how he does, will be if Gio gets the boot or if he gets another year while they evaluate somebody else.
All right.
So we have, if you haven't figured it out already, we have a race that's at the exact same track that we were just at.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to look up the weather because I don't give a flying fuck right now because who knows what it's... I don't know what it's...
Apparently, it doesn't matter. Even if we look it up and it's going to be pissing it down for a week straight, it's not going to happen.
Vince, tell me what the weather says, even though I don't care.
Saturday and Sunday is an 80% chance of rain.
So it's not going to rain.
Bullshit. Yeah, it's not going to rain.
Yeah.
Even though it rained, it did So it did this last year. It didn't rain one time, but it rained on the second time.
Oh, sorry.
Back.
Sunday is 80. Saturday is 60. But at all the times during the race, it shows some rain.
Well, it showed that last.
Yeah, it
last
showed
time.
that.
Oh, I know. I'm
It
just
showed
telling
that
you what it is.
Friday before the race,
Yeah.
and that was not even correct.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
It's
still going to
bullshit.
predict like normal.
okay. Let me, I mean, I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything, like, we just watched a race at the track with nothing, no real shenanigans.
Brayden,
Other
winner
than,
of the week. Let's hear your predictions.
Yeah. So
other than George Russell having his issues, there was nothing really shocking.
no,
All right, Brayden.
and there's not going to be anything shocking. It's going to be Verstappen winning,
Oh, here we go.
Hamilton second because nobody else is faster than him. Red Bull is not going to fuck up their pit stop and fuck up Perez's strategy 2 weeks in a row. So Perez is actually going to come third this time. Because the only reason Perez did not come third is because he had a 4.5 second stop and he had a slow left rear. Otherwise, he eats Bottas for lunch and he comes home third easily.
Let me stop you right here. I just want to, for posterity's sake, you can't see it. Hang on. I'm going to change my background real quick.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, just for posterity, I already wrote down my predictions.
Yeah.
Just because I think you're going to absolutely match my top 5 with your top 5.
Verham, Per, Bot, Nor.
Yep.
Yep.
Even I wrote that down. You started with Verstappen, and I started writing out your top 5.
So yeah, that was exactly what I guessed, and that's
So
yeah.
We're either all gonna slam it or we're all gonna get fucked. Bottom 5, I think, much like last year, teams are gonna learn from the race before. So I don't think there's gonna be any retirements this year, and I'm gonna hold on to that. God willing, there's not gonna be any retirements.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. So I will put Mazepin last, getting lapped 4 times.
Okay.
Not that that matters, but he was lapped 4 times before. Then Latifi, Schumacher, Sonoda, Giovinazzi, and then Sonoda.
Okay.
And then Alonso, I will put 9th. Fuck you, John.
Damn. Okay. Oh, fuck. I guess I have to go next.
Well, you know your top 5.
Well, and that's the thing is we have the exact top 5, and I feel like
Unless you're going to change it up.
I almost feel like I should change it up just to make it interesting.
John, you already wrote it down, bud.
Okay, it's already wrote down. We have the exact same, so whatever points you get, I get too.
Verham, Per, Bot, Nor.
Yep. Bottom 5, I also already have written down, and it is strikingly similar. Mazepin 20th, Schumacher 19th, Latifi 18th, Gio 17th, and Sonoda 16th. The only difference between us is we flipped
Schumacher and Latifi. Yeah.
Alonso, we're gonna flip last week with this week. I think he's gonna come 10th because I think George Russell is actually gonna finish, and he's gonna finish above Alonso.
I think George will get that last point. I think he'll come 10th.
I think he's gonna come 9th, and Alonso will come 10th.
I hope he gets some kind of points wherever it is.
I do too.
God fucking willing, the first turn he qualifies 11th. The top 10 people crash each other out, and he fucking wins.
Come on, George. Fucking Vince. You have you have your top 5 already?
Yeah. Since I have to go for glory here.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that there is some form of fucking rain.
Vesham, Per, Botner.
Nope. Ham, ver, per, nor, bont.
Okay, so
Ham.
same ingredients, different soup.
Ham,
Yep.
ver, per, bot, nor.
Nor, bot. Nor is fourth.
Oh, you're not gonna get any points.
Hopefully it rains and it shakes everything
He gets
up.
one, and it's Perez in third.
Yeah.
Bottom five.
I'm trying to think. There's no way that we're not going to have a retirement.
I'm hoping Perez can become the Kimi of yesteryear. Just perennially third.
Who sucks?
Mazepin.
Yeah, I can't put Mazepin last. I think someone will crash out.
Well, Gasly, you'd be on a good shot if you think people are going to crash out. People that are going to be 6th to 12th in qualifying.
Fuck you, Stroll.
Stroll.
Gasly, Leclerc,
Stroll 20th.
Sainz,
He's getting too lucky.
Okay.
they all had some sort of contact in the beginning of this past race.
Okay, so Stroll.
So Stroll, Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi, Gio.
Stroll's crashing out. All right.
Ah, fuck that Canadian.
Stroll, Mazepin, Schumacher, Latifi, Gio.
Rocking
Yes.
the Canadiens design on his helmet.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the fucking Habs. Ugh. So, in agreeing with my compatriots here, George Russell will score points this race,
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, we
and
just
he will
flopped
finish
him.
above Alonso.
You think he's going 8th?
Nope. I think Russell's
Fifth?
going to get the final 10th point, and Alonso's going to get past
I
and
already,
be in 11th.
I already picked 10th.
11th for Alonso, you fuck.
Oh,
okay. You
oh,
think he's
okay.
finishing in front of Alonso with the
Russell
points?
is
Got
going
it.
to pass to go into 10th for the lone point, and
Yeah.
Alonso will be
Oh,
11th.
I see.
Got
I
it.
see. So we got 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yeah,
Yep.
He's going to come 16th.
maybe. I mean, I don't think that I can. He sucked dick balls in the first half of the season, but I think you're right. I don't think we can write him off
I now
anymore.
I
I
am-
think he's good for the final 3 positions of points if the car is behind him.
I am no longer allowed to say that Fernando Alonso is an old bag
Yeah. He's no longer a washed up old bag.
because
He's an old bag, but
he's gotten me 4 points on the season.
yeah, exactly.
And yeah, just because I can guess his
Twice in a row.
his mediocrity.
But yes, I think I went for glory there, and I changed everything up. So either I'm going to score nothing or score everything.
Well, boys, this has been a pretty long one.
No, it hasn't.
It's just been it was a long pre-show.
Well, from
Only
Yeah,
like an
from-
hour and 20, hour 30 maybe.
Not
it-
even an hour 30.
It's about an hour 27 right now.
Who gives a fuck?
I mean, I don't, but you know. Braden, do you want to plug our socials, including our new Facebook page?
Socials, yes, we do have a new Facebook page, which is soared to just about 100 likes in about a week. So
Crushing it.
good on us. We're crushing it. We're absolutely blowing our Twitter figures out of the water. So if you are on the Bird app, and if you would be so kind as to follow us on Twitter so we can pump those numbers up, our Twitter is at Slamming Gears F1. Our new Facebook page is also at Slamming Gears F1 if you're on the Facebook app instead of the Bird app. SGSB F1 Podcast at Slamming Gears F1. Search either of those, you'd find us. We do have a Patreon as well. That one's nice and easy, patreon.com/SGSB. You will get access to bonus episodes. You can subscribe from as little as £1, $1, or €1 a month. Shout out 3 Legs, 4 Wheels. And then if you're 87 years old like Vincent here, you want to send us an email. Looking at you, Smirnoff, DM us on Twitter. Our email is slamminggears@gmail.com.
And if at any point, like, somebody wants to send us questions, things that they want us to talk about on the podcast, things to get Vince all riled up, just DM them to us somehow.
Yeah.
Email.
DM us, message us on Facebook, send us an email.
Send us an email, talking points, like interact with us. We love that shit. Completely.
Love to feature you on the show.
Yeah, and if you send us questions, we will talk about it. We will bring it up. I will write it down.
We will.
I promise.
Guarantee.
Hey, look, I didn't go off this podcast.
No,
you've been surprisingly well behaved. And by the way, that Patreon thing, if you listen to what we just recorded before this podcast, I thought it was pretty good.
that one's got a bunch of stories in there.
That one's definitely one for the books. And if you want access to it, it's like $1. Just fucking do it. Yeah, just get in there. Get that up, yeah.
Get that up, yeah.
I don't really have anything else. What about you guys?
Fuck
that's
Stroll.
it for me.
All right. Yeah. Well, until next race in Austria, I'm John.
I'm Vince.
I'm Braden.
All right. We'll see you later.
See
See you.
See you.